All right, guys, back for the second half of today's podcast, MMAOB Daily Podcast, Monday, July 17, 2023. Just went through the recap of UFC Vegas 77 and talked a little about that little bit of news potentially at the end. A lot of the best Bellator fighters are on the UFC website right now. So, Marcel, I know you're everyone's joking you're looking at the Aileen Perez pictures, but I know that you're probably sending some tweets, some DMs out trying to get to the bottom of this, right?
Obviously, yeah, I did.
Have you heard anything or?
No, nothing yet. But I'm wondering what's happening.
At this point, it's just speculation on our part. But I mean, like, if it was just Michael Page, it's kind of like, okay, they say he's a guest fighter, but this is kind of weird now, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely with AJ McKee, for example, on it, and the Pitbull brothers, who have never been in the UFC, and Page's also not, but this is just one fighter,
Yeah, but now there's 4 guys at least. Maybe there's more. I don't know. Is there any? Wait till UFC roster watch goes and puts the check mark beside it, right?
Yeah, people are going nuts.
Anyways, we're gonna break down all 15 fights here, guys, at UFC London.
So if you find more, let us know.
Pardon? About the fighters? Yeah. Where's John? If John's still in the chat, or if he's still digging on the website, John, if you see anything else, man, go and show us. Anyways, Marcel, let's get into the card. We're going to break down UFC London, guys. Marcel, your thoughts? I mean, we got 15 fights. What do you think, man?
I'm not really intrigued by this card, to be really honest. I think there are some good fights on it, but overall, listen, man, for the price that they are asking in England, it's a really bad card, to be really honest. It's also not sold out. So that's pretty much what it says. But this is everything. How expensive these cards are. It's pretty much as expensive as the pay-per-view earlier this year. So
the tickets?
Yeah.
I heard the tickets were expensive. I mean, it's not really fair to the fans, but here's the thing, Marcel. I'm telling you right now, like, the UFC tickets are off the prices are through the roof anywhere you go for the most part these days. Maybe some of the smaller places in the States, it's a little cheaper, but like I know Canada, it was super expensive in Vancouver too, right? So,
but that at least was a pay-per-view,
Yeah, but like it wasn't the most stacked pay-per-view.
That's true.
All right, let's get into this card, guys. Actually, you know what? Let me get some comments first, and then we'll get into it. Glenn, the card could blow up part Friday. Questions about Slarienko, Alvarez, Paul making weight. I think one fight will get canceled this week. I'll say that. There's 15. I'll say one gets canceled. How many are you going to say get canceled? There's no way we get 15, right? Marcel?
We'll see. I don't know.
You don't want to throw that mojo out there, eh? You don't want to throw the bad mojo out there.
No.
I don't see all 15 happening. I don't remember the last time they had 15 fights actually happen. They don't book 15 fight cards very often either. Craig's going down to 185. Barberena is moving up. That's another one. Okay. Yes, exactly. Marcel was Googling the Aileen Perez pictures. What else we got? Yeah, that's the thing. The UFC, I don't know who the fuck is working for the UFC backstage, Marcel, but it looks like they fucked this up. And there was the thing with John Jones at the T-Mobile, remember, with the Gaunt fight earlier this year. And what was the other thing? The guy last week, the intern or whatever, doing the 2 title fights with Pereira and Jan. Like, someone's fucking up. Someone's getting fired, man. Someone's getting fired, guys. It's not me. Someone else is. Yeah, Michael Page is a free agent, but again, there's these other guys on the site that like McKee and Pitbull brothers. Like, it's kind of where there's smoke, there's fire, guys. That's all I'm going to say about that. London's barely half sold out. UFC got too greedy. You know what, Glenn? I think what's going to happen is the ticket price will go down this week. I don't know if you got a ticket, Glenn. I hope you can go to the card. It's worth it, man. I went to the 290 last week. It's fucking amazing. But my friend waited till day of to buy a ticket, Marcel, and the prices went half price by the time the fights rolled around, right? Not half price, but they went down quite a bit. So, like, I think like the $500, I think he had not nosebleed, upper deck. It's actually not that bad up there, but I think it was from 5 he went and paid 3, so it wasn't too bad, All right, guys, let's get into the card. Start with the first fight, Marcel. We have the flyweights here. Jafel Filho taking on Daniel Barez. It's a good fight. Really good fight to kick off the card. The odds for this fight, guys, over DraftKings, -120 Filho and Barez plus 100. So, Marcel, you're picking the first fight UFC London.
So, by the way, Jose Augusto is another Bellator guy who was on the UFC website.
That's the guy who fought Rumble Johnson.
Yeah. Jafel Filho against Daniel Barez. Yeah, Jafel Filho almost got Makayev last time, in that knee bar or whatever it was. I think he's a pretty good fighter. I like him a lot. He had a good win against Robert Echeverria in the Contender Series last year. Pretty decent fighter. What I think about him, he's pretty decent on the ground. I think his stand-up is pretty okay as well. Danny Barez, long time trying to get signed by the UFC. Lost a split decision on Contender Series against Carlos Hernandez, which was a really close fight. Man, my colleagues from from Eurosport Spain going to be upset, but I'm going with Jafel Filho here. I think he wins the decision.
Yeah, you know what, Marcel? It's a good fight. I think Barez is good. You know, he's actually an older guy. He's same age as me. He's 34, 88 birthday, but very experienced, right? 21 fights. He had a very close fight against Carlos Hernandez on Contender. Could have won that fight, to be honest with you. Since then, he's won 4 straight fights, all by finish. So he's looked really good. That being said, you look at the level of competition. I'm looking into the guys he's facing. They're not good. They're not good at all. So
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so he's looked good, but not against great competition. Now, again, a lot of experience. And I think, that Contender fight, Marcel, he could have won that fight. And had he won, he would be on like an 11-fight win streak right now. So he's a solid fighter. I think it's a good addition to the roster. But I still think Filho, like I trust him a bit more. Like I thought he looked amazing in the Contender Series with that knockout. And then, dude, I think he was up right on the scorecards against Makhachev, Marcel, and 28 seconds away from winning against the best prospect in the division. It looks like he's been submitted a few times. So there's always that worry that Barez could get his back or something, just like Makhachev did. But I don't know, man. I think this guy is a good fighter who's fought better competition. That's what I think. Like he has the win over Salvador, who's in the UFC. He's a good fighter. He's fought guys like Bruno Correa earlier in his career, who was in the UFC earlier. And then Makhachev, and then the Contender Series fight was great too a year ago. So yeah, man, he's a finisher too. Marcel, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be a really good fight. I think this is a fun fight to kick off the card. 2 good prospects at 125. Not prospect because Daniel's 34, but still 2 good fighters at 125. Guys that no one talks about. I think it'll be a competitive fight, but I'm going with Filho too, man. I favor him a little bit here because I just think he'll be able to get better positions on the ground. I probably win decision, but I also feel like there's a chance he can get Barez's back too. I think there's a chance for either guy getting the submission here, to be honest with you. But Filho to kick off the card for me, minus 120. I'll take him. I'm going to take him. I'm with you, Glenn. Like the competition is not great. Go ahead.
I found another one, dude. Simon Bion. You write it down?
Yeah, no, I have to change it because some fucking guy is a troll on Twitter. It's just annoying, guys. Yeah, John, your buddy's a fucking dick, dude. He's an asshole. He's trolling everyone. Some guy made a fake UFC roster page and trolling about it and adding all the fighters. It's just not cool, dude. It's not cool at all. Danny Sabatello too. That's interesting. He was on Contender Series back in the day. But John, your buddy Jamie's kind of being a dick, dude. Like I don't like that at all. Fake Twitter profiles or some Marcel, they're media blocks for you, right? A media block? Yeah. John, that's not cool, dude. Not your fault. Your buddy's doing that, but it's not cool, Anyways, guys shouldn't be doing that. It's just you're especially me right now. I'm splitting my focus between this and I'd say a tweet on my phone, Marcel.
Yeah.
Not cool. So I'm just telling you, John, your buddy's being a dick. I'm gonna call him out on it right now. I don't really care. All right. Anything else you want to say about this fight? Or should we move on?
Yeah, we can move on. Like I said, I pick Jafel Filho to win by decision because I have more. I think it's not another. How do you say that? It's probably a close fight. It's a competitive fight, but I feel more in Filho than anybody else. Than Danny Barez.
Yeah. Oh, one sec. Yeah, man. Sorry, guys. One sec. Yeah, I don't like those. I don't like the fake profiles on Twitter, guys. That's something that really pisses Marcel off too. I know, right? Right, Marcel?
Not my fear. I listen only if they use my name. I think it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead. It's okay. Let's go to the next fight. Let's go. Okay. Bruna Brasil taking on Shauna Bannon here. Women's flyweight fight. Let's see odds for this one. Minus 150 Brazil. Okay, Bannon plus 130. Looks like there's money coming in on Brazil right now. That's interesting. Can I start on this one, Marcel?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Well, I thought Bruna Brasil was, looked good on Contender. Obviously, had that really good knockout, right? And then in the UFC debut, I was kind of having trouble picking her against what's her name, Diakiese Gomes. Ended up picking her. She just got completely starched. It was not a good look. She looked bad in that fight. She got outstruck very bad. So the striking defense to me is a concern. I don't know what to think about her, man. I thought she called the special one, right? So you think she's pretty special, but not based on that. And then with Bannon, 5-0, not much experience, only been a pro for a few years. I never watched her fight before. I'll be honest. I know she fought in Invicta, but I had never seen her fight. So I did the tape study. I'm glad I did it because I think she's not bad, man. I think she's a gritty fighter. She's a grinder type of fighter. She has decent striking too. Like she'll mix it up, and she has that dog in her too. Like she'll fight you. She'll fight for your money. All her fights, have been pretty competitive. But what I've noticed is like she has good cardio and is able to get like dominant positions later in the fight when her opponent tires. So she'll be able to get, I think, if the fight goes to the ground, she'll be able to get on top in this fight. Maybe even ground and pound Bruna Brasil, potentially. Bruna Brasil has 3 losses, all by TKO. So she has an issue. I know one of them was injury, if I'm not mistaken, but still, like, she has an issue with the durability, I think. She's a front runner, too, right? She has the chance to knock out anyone or submit them, but she can easily get knocked out herself. I'm going to go with Shauna Bannon and Marcel. I'm going to take her at plus 130 here, guys. It's obviously not like the most confident pick. UFC women's flyweight making her debut. I get that. But based on what I've seen, sorry, strawweight, excuse me, guys. I said flyweight. My apologies. But regardless, I think she looked pretty good from what I saw. I was kind of impressed. I was kind of impressed. I was more impressed with her than that girl last week or 2 weeks ago, Petrovic. I think she's a better prospect. Although, obviously, again, she's at 125. But I'm glad I did the tape study because I think she looked decent. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she goes in there and gets starched by Brazil with a head kick. But no, I'm going to take Bannon by decision. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, man, you just called these women low-key fat, calling them flyweights.
My apologies.
Yeah, man, I feel like it's a difficult fight to pick here, man. I'm not really in favor anymore to pick women's coming in the UFC, making their debut. But the thing is, like Brazil really, really let us down, dude, in that fight against Denise Gomez. But then again, Denise Gomez looked good in her last fight again. So maybe it's just Denise Gomez being really good. I'm going with Brazil. I'm going with the early stoppage for Brazil. TKO first round, ground and pound.
Think Brazil, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of Bannon? Any thoughts on her?
Difficult to say, man. I mean, she had that win over Minna Grisander, right? But that's her only, not legit, her only really notable win. You know what I mean? But she's still early in her career, so it's hard to say. Yeah. But we'll see.
I just was not high. I mean, I just was not impressed by Brazil in that last fight. I just think she can be beaten here. I'll take a plus money on this fight. I think it's. I would favor Bannon a little bit in this fight, so I'll take the plus money. I would favor it like minus 130. So you're getting plus 150. I mean, there's I think some value. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what happens. Again, Marcel, UFC debut, right? Like you never really know how they're going to perform in the big stage. Well, Jamie, I appreciate that, man, but you just got to be careful because like it makes me bad too. And I'm doing 2 things at once, right? So it is what it is. Anyways, we'll see what happens. I mean, I hope they fucking buy the roster out. I hope the Bellator guys come over to the UFC. I got fired up there, guys, but I know this happens to Marcel a lot. He gets these troll accounts too, right? So, anyways, Marcel, let's go to the next fight here. We got Chris Duncan taking on Yanal Ashmouz, and odds for this one are also close. Minus 150. So same odds as last fight actually. Minus 150 for Chris Duncan, plus 130 Yanal Ashmouz. Both guys fought on that London card last time, right? So, what do you think, man?
Yeah, man. Duncan had that fight against Omar Morales, that split decision, where let's hope that Sutherland guy doesn't judge again this card. He got that win over Omar Morales. Yanal Ashmouz had that crazy knockout against Sam Patterson, where he didn't get 50K for. I mean, I think Duncan is like has maybe more has more experience. But at the same time, dude, Yanal Ashmouz, I really was bad with my picking against him last time, and he really kind of surprised me. He looked really good, although it was short, but he looked really good. And Duncan is a guy who I really like to watch fight, but he takes a lot of damage. You know what I mean? And he also did that in the Charlie Campbell fight. Remember that? The Contender Series.
Oh yeah.
He also had. Yeah, and he got knocked out the year before by Slava Borchev. Yeah.
Yep.
I got to favor Ashmouz here. I like both guys, but I think Ashmouz. I think Ashmouz might finish him in the first round, and if not, I think the longer the fight goes, I favor Duncan. But I got to go with the finish for Ashmouz here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was on Ashmouz last time, remember, against Sam Patterson.
Yeah,
He
you
was like
was.
plus 250, I want to. What was the odds? Let me double check. It was huge. Plus 225. Those odds were crazy, especially Sam Patterson's one of those. Marcel, I call it tall man defense, right? Your boy Stefan Struve, same problem, right? Keeps the chin straight up in the air, right? The hands down. Sam Patterson has that problem. Chris Duncan doesn't have that problem, but he keeps his chin up in the air too. He's not tall, I'm saying, but he keeps his chin up and very hittable, very hittable. But I still think like he's got that dog in him too. You know, Marcel, like you can drop him, he'll still come forward unless he's unconscious, like in the Slava fight. The guys, you know, I think got better experience overall, more UFC, not more UFC experience, same amount of experience, I guess, but he did fight in Contender. I think a little bit higher level experience. I know Ashmouz did fight in PFL, CFFC. I think Ashmouz is decent. Like he could win this fight. I'm not confident in Duncan by any means. I'm not going to bet it, but if I have to make a pick, it would be Chris Duncan because I just think he can mix it up a bit more, and especially after the first round, I think Ashmouz will get tired, and I think Duncan will be able to take over a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe just grinds the decision on Marcel, to be honest with you. But it definitely could be a finish in this fight. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets KO'd again with Duncan because, again, the chin is not great. The striking defense is not great. But still, he's fucking tough, if that makes sense. So he'll make it a gritty fight, I think. He'll maybe go the distance and he'll grind it out. But, again, it's not super confident. Claudia likes him a lot, though. You know, Claudia, I mean, again, I favor him. Marcel's got a different pick here. But I wouldn't be super confident in him. But, again, with the experience edge, in my opinion, with Bellator and UFC Contender, like all those Bellator fights, that's good too. Good experience to have, right? So, all right, next fight, Marcel, we got women's bantamweight bout between Pannie Kianzad and Ketlen Vieira. And
super disrespectful placement, by the way.
I was going to ask you about that. So Ketlen Vieira is ranked what, like 4th? I want to say.
Yeah, and Pannie is 6th, I think.
Why are they fighting so low in the card? The UFC wants to cut the loser, I guess. Like, I don't see why they would cut them. I mean, they're still good fighters. Why is it so low in the card? What do you think?
If there should be one women fight on the main card, it should be this one. You know what I mean?
Probably. I mean, maybe they don't think it's going to be exciting, but I think it could be a decent fight. I mean, anyways, let me get in the odds. I'm actually really curious to hear your pick in this fight. So minus 155 Ketlen, plus 135 Pannie. What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts. Who's winning this fight?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. You know, with Vieira, I always have the feeling like she doesn't fight as good as she can. And with Pannie, you always know she goes 3 rounds hard, and she can go 3 rounds hard, and she always gives 100%. You know, and with Ketlen, I always have the feeling like, yeah, she fights there, but I don't know. You know, that's what I always got the feeling with her. But with the same thing with Pannie is difficult to she's also inconsistent. I know she won her last couple of fights, Pannie Kianzad. You know, she won her last 4 out of 5. She only lost to Pennington, which was in the blowout. You know, Ketlen Vieira, she lost also to Pennington, which I think I had her winning that fight, if I can remember correctly. I had her winning that fight and her losing against Holm. That's how I had it. So there's going to be this is going to be not a split decision. I gotta go with it's so hard. I don't know. Ketlen Vieira, I think I mildly favor her. I would see this as a pick'em, to be honest, dude.
So who are you picking?
Yeah, I said Ketlen Vieira.
Okay. So, but you look at it as a really close fight, basically.
Yeah, extremely close fight.
That's why I wanted to hear your thoughts, because I'm not 100% sure. I'll be honest, guys. Like this one's tough. This is a tough one to pick. I think Pannie's being overlooked, but you know the odds are shifting in her favor, so there's money coming on Pannie, and I think she can win this fight for sure. I mean, it's a tough one to call. I just think both girls are very tough. You know, they'll both come forward. There's probably gonna be quite a bit of clinching here. I do think Pannie's probably the better striker, right? She lands more strikes. Ketlen's a little bit more hittable. Ketlen's got the wrestling, but Pannie's got the good takedown defense, 80%. You know, Pannie lost a close fight to Raquel Pennington. If she had won that fight, she'd be on a 6-fight win streak right now. So she's pretty fucking solid, man. She's very tough. She has good boxing. She comes forward. She's one of my favorite female fighters to watch. You know, unlike Nora Dumont, you know, they both have all the wins by decision, but like when Pannie fights, I'm like, all right, you know, you're going to get a war. Like you're going to get a good fight. She's a good fighter, man. I'm telling you. I think she's one of the more underrated fighters in the weight class, even though she's ranked 6th. No one really talks about her ever. They're all like, oh, let's Pannie fight for the belt. Not that she should, but with Ketlen, I think we've seen that, you know, Yeah, what's up?
Trivia question: what was Pannie's original nickname?
Who?
What was Pannie's original?
Sexy Scramble.
He knows. Nice.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She used to fight in what was it? Invicta, I think.
Invicta, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's from Sweden. She's Iranian. Yeah. I just think Pannie's a good fighter, man. I'm having a tough one with this one because I just really like Pannie as a fighter, right? And I think the fight's super close. She's an underdog, but I also feel like Vieira can like be the stronger fighter, clinch her up. But again, the fight with Pannie, and both of them had a razor close fight with her. Ketlen's been struggling a bit with the takedowns lately. Oh, this is a tough one, guys. I'm honestly having. You know what, Marcel? Because it's so tough, and I feel like it's a coin flip. I'll take the dog. I'm just gonna do it. I'll take the dog because you're getting plus 150 on someone that I think, or plus 140 basically. Someone I think has a really good chance to win. I would flip a coin for this fight. It's gonna come down to, I think, control and damage in this fight. That's what it's gonna come down to, and I'll side with the judges going with the damage, Marcel. That's what we're gonna do. I'll side with the judges getting the criteria correct and going with the damage. But again, you never know. She might get pinned against the fence for 3 rounds. I just think on the feet, I think Pannie's the better striker. So I have to take her.
True.
I think I have to take her because she has 80% takedown defense. I do think she's a better striker. So you know what? I was on the fence about this one, guys. And I'm not saying you're wrong, Marcel. You almost talked me in, just even more so into Vieira, but I'm going to go with Pannie by decision. And you know what, man? What do you think about the split decision prop in this fight? If it's like plus 700 or something, you think that's worth a shot?
I literally said that. So
I think the odds are, that's another fight that could be like a split. Because you see, there's a split on every fucking card, honestly. This could be one of them, right? So there you go. All right, think a couple of comments, guys. Really like this bet. I really like this one. Plus 3.5 is a good bet. That basically means she has to win 1 round, Marcel. Don't you think she'll win 1 round?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Against Landsberg, it wasn't her best performance, I agree. But, Landsberg, she's got some power. We've seen her drop some other girls, right? So
it's also bad blood between those two,
Yeah, and they'd fought before, right? But she still won the fight. I know Landsberg, again, she's not great, but she has some power. She dropped Carol Hosta as well in a very close fight. Yeah, Pannie, I think, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe, here's the thing. I'm basically banking on Pannie stopping the takedowns because if it's on the feet, I have to pick her, right? But if Vieira gets takedowns, that would be her path, I think, Marcel. If it's going to be against the fence, though, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those control and first damage fights. I hate being in those type of fights, when you have a side, but with the plus money, I'll take that side. So that's my pick. Pannie by split. Hey JP, what's up? He says he'll take the belt to right. Yeah, someone else was saying this, Marcel. Maybe they bought out Ryzen. Maybe that's who they bought out. Could that be it?
I have no idea, dude. I really have no idea. If I knew anything, I would tell it to you, but I really have no idea.
Claudia likes Vieira just like you, Marcel. So there you go. Thanks for your pick, Claudia. Antoine, what's up, man? Glad to have you back. 3 different picks. Unprecedented. I didn't realize this. Do we actually? We do. No. We both had Filho, right? We both had Filho?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 of 4
fights. Oh, shit. Yeah. Shit, 3 of 4. Yeah, I don't remember the last time that's happened. You know what? Fuck, maybe the next fight we'll have a different one too, Marcel. You got your boy Brian Barberena here taking on Makhmud Muradov in an interesting fight. Middleweight fight for Brian Barberena, moving up in weight late in his career here, taking on Muradov, who started off his career strong in the UFC. He's really struggled lately. Odds for this one, Marcel, we have Muradov is a pretty big favorite, I think. Yeah, minus 315. Plus 245 in Brian Barberena. I'm really curious to hear your breakdown on this fight. What do you think? Muradov is, I think, the second biggest favorite in the card besides Tom Aspinall. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the thing is, listen, man, the only good thing for Barberena here is that Muradov himself is not really like a ground guy. It's really like more of a stand-up fighter, and yeah, it's the thing is, Barberena has a lot of problems when he gets these pure ground guys. It's like Gunnar Nelson, Rafael dos Anjos, who got back to his basics. The striker Muradov, he came very well in the UFC. Remember that? Got 2 or 3 wins, back to back. Actually, didn't really good, I remember, against or he did against Andrew Sanchez. I can't remember correctly anymore, but he got the win in the 3rd round.
Yep.
2 losses after that. But I mean, against Gerald Marshall is the kind of guy who can beat anyone on a given day. You know what I mean?
It was minus 700 or lost though. He was a huge favorite and lost.
I remember that. And then Caio Borraio, I picked Borraio in that fight, obviously.
Well, Caio's good.
The thing is, like, if Muradov hits clean, he can knock Barberena out, I think. The thing is, Barberena is getting older as well. At the same time, I think Barberena can make it the dogfight and can get 3 rounds in and can get a decision win. So it's different. You either go for a knockout for Muradov, I think, or a decision for Barberena. And man, I hate to pick this, but I think I have to go with Muradov. I want, Barberena's my guy. I want him to win, but I'm going to be honest, man. I feel like this is a difficult one, because Muradov has the power to knock somebody out, and Barberena's a dog, maybe not, should I have to go with mind pick, not hard pick, so I'm picking Muradov.
Barberena started as a lightweight, so this would be his 3rd weight class, which is interesting. Yeah. Marcel, I'm doing it, dude. Press the button. Press the button. Let's hear it.
I have to search it, dude. I don't have it here. Give me a second, dude.
Guys, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going to take a shot on him. I'm going to take Bryan Barberena here, plus 245. I'm taking a shot, man. There we go, baby. Dog of the night. I mean, second biggest dog on the card. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but big dogs win all the time in the UFC. I'm not sold on Muradov anymore, Marcel. I got to be honest with you. I'm not sold on the last 2 fights, especially the Mearshart fight. It just showed me you can kind of break this dude. I think he can be broken. I think Bryan Barberena again, this is a big if because we've never seen him fight middleweight, I don't think, anyways. And, Muradov's a pretty good fighter, but I just feel Muradov's a guy that can be broken by a guy like this who's a dog. Who's going to constantly come forward. I think, the last couple of fights where Bryan Barberena were just brutal matches against, like, pure grapplers with, like, amazing jiu-jitsu, right? And RDA's case, a former champ. And good striking, too, with Nelson. I mean, they're just really good fighters. Muradov, again, he's a good fighter, but I think his record was a bit padded, coming in the UFC. And in the UFC, I mean, he's looked okay, but at times, that Trevor Smith fight was, I think, is probably his best performance. I'm just not sold on him, guys. I think he's a guy that has some quit in him a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he goes up there and starches him, but at plus 245, you're getting Bryan Barberena. He's going to fight for your money. He will fight for your money, right? So maybe he goes up there and gets completely knocked out. We've seen him get dropped many times in the past, but I'm telling you, man, if Bryan survives that first round, which I'm banging on here because I'll take a shot on him, if he survives the first round, he comes back and finishes Muradov late in the fight. 3rd round knockout. That's my prediction, Marcel. There we go, guys.
Fuck, dude. You might have talked me into it. Backbone like a bitch. I don't know.
You doing it?
Yeah, maybe. I'm still thinking about it. Maybe I switch. I'm not sure yet.
Listen, I get it. Barberena, like someone's talking about the takedown defense. It's not good. It's 54%. This is like more of like a hunch kind of prediction, right? Because the numbers wouldn't say to do this. I just watched this guy fight his whole career. I know how hard a fight he is for anyone in the UFC, regardless of the weight class. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how he looks at 185. Maybe he's going to look, pudgy because I know he eats a lot of pizza, right, Marcel? So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe his durability will be better. You never know. It's a real tricky one. I'm just not sold on Muradov anymore, and I'm going to take a shot on a big dog. I don't typically take a shot to the big dogs, but this is one I just can't ignore it. I just think he's got a really good shot to win. So, yeah, I might take a shot on the live bet too, right, after the first round. So, yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here. We got Mick Parkin taking in Jamal Pogues. It's another interesting fight here, heavyweight division. This one, Jamal Pogues minus 150, Mick Parkin plus 130. Your pick, Marcel.
Yeah, I mean, there's also one I'm not sure about. If you look at Mick Parkin, he looked pretty good in the contender series. He had that Eduardo Neves guy out quick, but that dude had like cardio for 1 minute. I remember. He was out of it immediately. What the hell is happening? So I don't know. Yeah, man. I mean, Jamal Pogues is. He's like that guy. We saw him fight so many times, man, but he's not really convincing to me. You know what I mean? It's like the Josh Parisian fight. It was a horrible fight, to be honest. The fucking butterfly here, dude. What the hell? So the Paulo Ronaldo one in the Contender Series, it was not a great fight, but he had like that speech afterwards where Dana felt for, and good for him that he got the contract, but it wasn't really great, you know. Yeah, he got that. How do you say that? How is that the name of the boxing promoter again? That's Don House. House.
The boxing guy in the States?
Yeah, Don. Well, yeah, what's his name? Don
King?
Don King, yeah, he got that Don King haircut.
Yeah. Is Don House the UFC cutman? I think it is.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, he is.
I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
So, I knew it wasn't Don. Yeah, difficult, man. The thing is, like, it's either like Pogues' decision or Parkin early knockout. That's what I think. I'm going all in on Parkin here. I'm thinking he knocks him out.
Holy fuck. I'm telling you right now, we're going to set a record for the most dissensions for picks. Did you switch, Barberena? Did you switch back or no? Did you switch or no?
I'm still not convinced.
Okay,
sure.
Okay. I'm taking Pogues. So, like, okay. I think we have different. This is crazy. I mean, it's not necessarily a great thing. I'll say that because one of us is going to be wrong with each fight. So, but you know what?
At the end, we're like even on picks.
It's going to happen. Just watch. It will. It will happen that way. It's one of those cards. I do think a lot of dogs will win personally, but we'll see. I'm going with Pogues in this one. I just think the grappling, right, and the cardio. I think that's for me what separates two because Mick Parkin tons of first round finishes and look good. Definitely has a chance to win this fight. I know that Pogues has been finished a couple times by submission, right? So I think Mick Parkin, that'd be the way you get his back like he did in the last fight on Contender. Mick Parkin definitely is a live dog. He's an undefeated heavyweight who's like huge and he's got power and he's got it looks like a ground game too. But again, Pogues has been in the UFC. He has a lot of cardio for 15 minutes. He continually walks forward. He can land takedowns, like a lot of takedowns in his fights. So I just feel better about him here, Marcel, to win a decision. But Parkin absolutely can finish him, knock him out, or submit him. So wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, exactly. This is kind of a tricky one because we don't know how Parkin's going to look in UFC. Oh, he trains with Aspinall's friend. Yeah, I know they like him. I mean, they're giving him a fight he can win. There's no doubt. Jamal Pogues is not that good. But, against Parisian, he was able to take him down consistently, man. So I think he can win the fight. These fighters with a dog versus dog, it is tough, man. This is a really – that's what I'm saying. I was a little surprised you didn't like the card. I guess the name value's not there. But I think the matchups these are close fights, guys. Like, there's no better matchmaker in the UFC or in the world than, the UFC guys with Selby and Mick Maynard. Like, especially as time goes on, it feels like the matchups are just like so competitive, man. Honestly, you look at the odds for this card, a lot of short favorites under minus 200. And then, of course, the second biggest dog, I take a shot on myself. All right, go to the next fight here, guys. We got another fight that's interesting. Marc Diakiese against Joel Alvarez. Odds for this one, Alvarez minus 170, plus 145. Marc, Bone Crusher Diakiese. Who you picking?
Yeah, so Marc Bone Crusher Diakiese. Diakiese, right? Since his fight with Vyacheslav Borchev, grapples a lot. Wants to grapple a lot. Not really pleasing to watch anymore, but yeah, smart approach. 9 out of 10 times. Got 2 wins with that. Did it win against Johnson. Was a close fight. Look at Joel Alvarez. Joel Alvarez is the kind of guy at lightweight who barely makes lightweight. You know what I mean? And he will have a pretty big size advantage in this fight. I don't think Marc Diakiese can bully him on the ground. So I would definitely pick Joel Alvarez here to win. Joel Alvarez only has 2 losses on his UFC record, and that's against Damir Ismagulov and Ahmad Sarukian. I mean, you can have worse losses on your record. You know what I mean? Alvarez is going to win here. Diakiese is going to try to get him to the ground again. Maybe succeed, but Alvarez is gonna be better there, I think. Maybe he switches him up, or he turns it around. I'm taking Alvarez, and maybe even a finish, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes him, to be honest. I'm taking Alvarez with a submission in the second round. We'll go crazy here, dude.
Yeah, I think this one's interesting too because I think Diakiese's pretty well rounded, right? Like he's solid. We've seen the wrestling from when he wrestles, man. He's got good wrestling, right? Against Slavaklaus and then Hadzovic, like took them out like crazy.
The only thing is that Slava Klaus and Hadzovic have barely any wrestling.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Joel Alvarez has 0% takedown defense. He is literally the worst takedown defense in the UFC, okay? 0. He's never stopped a takedown. But he's still 4-2. So even if he's on his back, he can submit you with an armbar, as we've seen against Yakovlev, or grab your neck against Duffy. He's fucking dangerous, man. He's huge for this division. I don't really think he's a real lightweight. I think this fight could be canceled. I'm worried about it getting canceled because I don't think he's going to make weight again, Marcel. He's just, dude, he's the same height as me and weighs 155 pounds. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's a huge lightweight, and we've seen him miss weight multiple times. I'm staying away from this fight. I have no interest in betting on this one, guys. I'm staying the fuck away from it. I think Diakiese definitely can win the fight if he gets past the first round because he can grind him out. But Alvarez is so fucking dangerous, and almost all of his wins are by submission, right? So if Diakiese, his best path is probably on the ground, and then he has to like avoid this guy's consistent submission attempts. Like, he has a lot of triangle chokes on his resume too, like arm bars, guillotines. Super dangerous on his back. One of the most dangerous guys. Alvarez is a very flawed fighter. He's coming off a brutal loss against Arman. He hasn't fought in a year and a half. But before that, man, he was looking great. And you know what, man? Even though I'm not confident in him, I think I still have to pick him here, Marcel. So I was on the fence about this one, man, but I think you talked me into picking Alvarez at least. I was leaning a little bit anyways, but I'm just not confident still to make a bet. I'll pass, but I'll take Alvarez by submission. That's going to be my pick. Alvarez by submission. 2 of Alvarez's 4 wins were when he missed weight. I think he misses again, getting older. I agree. I think Diakiese will take the fight. Maybe because it's in England, right? So they'll give him a good amount of money to take the fight. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Diakiese or Alvarez, he has to make weight. If he misses weight, UFC will cut him regardless, you know? Or I guess they force him to 170, I should say. Not cut him, but force him up a weight class, unless, you know, he refuses. All right, we're good there, Marcel. Go to the next fight here. I don't know, man. Like, I enjoy talking about this card. I think there's some good fights on this card. And guess what? We got another pick'em fight here. Danny Robert, Top Chocolate against Jonny Parsons. He's got a good nickname too. Slugger Not, fucking awesome nickname. So, I mean, this fight could be fight of the night. This could be fight or performance of the night, I think, in this fight. This could be a good fight. Jonny Parsons favored right now, -125. Danny Roberts +105. Your pick, Marcel.
Yeah, I picked Danny Roberts in this fight, dude. I know he has 2 losses in a row. It's against fucking Jack Della Maddalena and against Francisco Trinaldo, which can happen. This Trinaldo was kind of the guy who got wins even after his 40th year. You know, he was pretty decent. Roberts, I gotta say, man, Roberts always been a little bit overrated. You know, people overrate him a little bit. Although I'm still picking him here. You know, Jonny Parsons hasn't fought for a long time. Will be pretty much very short in consideration with Danny Roberts. I think it is at least 10 centimeters. I don't know how to say it in inches. So I'm sorry, man. What are you laughing about, dude? Tell me.
No, I'm just reading on just about people talking about the science. I just saw Andre Korshkov listed. I saw Neiman Gracie's listed. Like, there's a lot of fighters, dude, listed now. It's interesting. Okay. Great. Keep going, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to take your. No. You're like, why is this fucking guy laughing? Because I'm reading about the shit. Go ahead, though. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm picking Roberts. I'm picking him with a decision win. I think he will be able to win here. The thing is, Parsons. Really honest, man, I wasn't really impressed by Parsons. I also think he shouldn't have won his contender series fight against Solomon Renfro. But hey, that's another case. But yeah, Roberts for me here.
With you on this one. So we finally picked the same. I like Danny Roberts in this fight, man. Like, listen, Jonny Parsons is a pretty tough dude from what we've seen, got some power, but here's the thing. He's been fighting for like over 10 years, I want to say, but barely fights. He fights like once a year. He hasn't fought in 2 years. Danny Roberts has so much more UFC experience. I understand his record's not very good. I want to say it's 7-6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's what it is, 7-6. So very mid, but you know, it's in England. He's a fucking good striker with power. He has way more experience. He has a 4-inch height advantage, 5-inch reach advantage, southpaw, a little bit older, obviously very hittable, but Jonny Parsons is also very hittable. I not only do I like Roberts in this fight, though, Marcel, I think he knocks him out. You know, I think he's going to get him out of there in the first round, personally, because I just think this guy Parsons is very hittable. And I don't know. I mean, like, maybe he's a guy who comes in and wins as a dog, but again, I just 2 years away fighting Roberts in his home country in front of his fans, and Roberts with 13 UFC fights compared to 0. I have to go with the experience, man. Danny Roberts, his chin is bad. and Jonny could catch it. But I think Roberts is the better striker. I think he is, man. I think he's more technical. I think he's got, power too, so a little bit more creative too. And Marcel, I also feel like he's a pretty, good grappler. Like maybe, that fight with Ramazan and me was very impressive. The way he was stuffing the takedowns in that fight, like defensively especially. So and he can land a takedown of his own once in a while too. He is coming off a brutal knockout loss, though, right? That's the worry here. He gets knocked out again. It's possible for sure. Yeah, it's not, again, super confident because Robert's chin, but I think he wins. I'll take him. He's a short dog here. I think he should be slightly favored, so I got to take him. All right, go to the next fight here, Marcel. We got...
By the way, let's talk about this. Why is Sportskida sourcing judo better with that Costa Aliskerov fight? Is off. Nobody legit has even...
I don't know. Ask James works for Sportskida. Ask him. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't work for them.
Yeah, James didn't. I wrote the article, so...
No, that's true. Exactly. So he wouldn't know either. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, he'd be the guy to ask, not me.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here, man.
Featured prelim, right?
Yeah, Davey Grant taking on Daniel Marcos. Fucking awesome fight. This is a great fight. Like I said, I think this card's good. I like this card. It's
one of the better fights. Yeah.
It's a fucking awesome fight. This could be my fight. Actually, you know what? I think I would lean this fight of the night. There's another one I think coming up, but this one is one of them. I think it's going to be an awesome fight. Davey Grant's a dog. We talked about a bunch of guys. Bryan, Barberena, Davey Grant, Marcel, all these guys on the card. Like, this is another guy, right? He'll fight for your money. Davey Grant will fight for your money. And Marcos, outstanding UFC debut. Odds for this fight. Daniel Marcos, -140, +120. Davey Grant. Your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, man, I think it's a great fight. Definitely. The thing is, I'm happy for Davey Grant. He finally gets a fight in England. He wanted it for a long time, and now he gets it. Yeah, that win over Aspinall. Did he have the cage grab like in the third, and then he got the submission win?
Was it Keith Peterson in that fight too? Was it?
I don't know for sure.
Can I check? Because I think it was.
Yeah, I will check if it was.
Because I'm just tired. If it is him, he just doesn't. It is him, man.
Yeah. It was Pete Peterson.
Yeah. I told you he doesn't penalize fence grabs. He doesn't care. Now the fighters know they can get away with it. Anyways, go ahead. They can get away with it with him though.
Yeah, I from a legit source, I heard that he was on alcohol and cigarettes that night, but cannot say who. I'm just kidding. Man, Davey Grant, I like him a lot, man. He's always competitive in his fights, even when he loses. Those Yanal and Vieira losses in 2021, he was competitive in those fights as well. Then got 2 wins. Good fighter overall. Daniel Marcos fought Simon Oliveira in the Rio card in January. Yeah, looked good, man. He tagged him a couple of times and then he finished him. He looked good so far, man. He also got the win over Brandon Lewis in the Contender Series. But man, Davey Grant is like, how do you guys say that? A borderline top 15 fighter, I cannot go against Davey Grant. Davey Grant is legit. Davey Grant can strike. Davey Grant can wrestle. Davey Grant, unanimous decision for me in this one. Fun fight.
So I mean, the money's coming in on Marcos, right? Like that's where the money's coming in, and I mean, he looked good in his debut, right? He looked good. He looked good against Simon Oliveira, who is not very good. He looked pretty good against Brandon Lewis. I mean, he's undefeated. He's 14-0. That being said, and I'm not saying he won't win this fight because he obviously has a chance to win. Anyone has a chance to win. I'm just saying this guy has a chance. He's a good fighter, but I don't understand why he's favored to beat Davey Grant. That just seems very disrespectful to me, guys. I don't know about this one. Like Davey Grant, look who he's fought lately. Like he's fighting good. Like I get it. Like Smoke is not great, but like Yanez, close fight. Okay, let me go through them. Okay, let's go through them. Okay, since he's come back. Sansal last fight, he was losing the grappling and came back and still won in devastating fashion. Amazing submission. Against Luis Smoka, looked fucking amazing. Against Adrian Yanez, fought tooth and nail, split decision against a stud. One fight of the night. Marlon Vera, pretty good fight. I mean, one fight of the night. It was definitely unanimous in Vera's favor because he got taken. He did more damage in the fight, but Davey Grant was still in the fight. Jonathan Martinez gets dropped, comes back, and then knocks out a great prospect. Like Jonathan Martinez is a guy he could be fighting for the belt in the next couple of years, and he knocked him out. Martin Day, not great, but came back from a knockout and came back and won. Knocked down and came back and won late. And he also has that win over very early in his career when he wrestled him. Look at the experience he has. Look at the experience compared to Marcos. It's just like night and day. He should have won a bonus against Smolka. He should be on a 6-fight streak where he's won bonuses. And he's fighting against legitimate UFC competition. I'm sorry, but Simon Oliveira, I picked Marcos in that fight. I think it was a pick-up fight. Now all of a sudden he's a favorite against Davey Grant. I don't get this at all, man. I think it's disrespectful. I think Davey Grant wins this fight. He's a dog. Yeah. Maybe he gets dropped early, maybe he gets hurt, but I think as the fight goes on, he comes back. And then, I saw another third-round knockout. I'm going to take him by third-round TKO. I think he'll come back and knock out Marcos in the third round. I get it, plus 120. We have to take a shot on Grant, right? We have to take him.
Oh, for sure.
We have a consensus dog, do we not?
Yes. Woof.
Back-to-back, Roberts and Grant. But I feel better about Grant, to be honest with you.
Me too. Oh, yeah.
A lot of sharp guys are on Marcos. I get it, guys. I've watched some of the other YouTube videos out there, and people are picking Marcos, and I get it. And I understand he's a really good prospect, but I just think it's crazy to see Grant as the dog here. I think if, Marcos was like plus 150 dog, I could see why, but at minus 140, I don't understand. I don't get it. Grant preferred not to fight in UK. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he loses this fight, but I think it's a good spot for him. And I think he's good, right? So the winner of this fight, this is a showcase fight for the division. The winner of this fight's getting a top 15, right? Wouldn't you imagine, Marcel?
Yeah, I like it. Actually, yeah. I think that should be great.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go to the next fight here, guys. We got first fight in the main card here. Leon Murphy, the Miracle, taking on Josh Kulabau. Another good fight. Like I said, I've been saying about a lot of fights. I think this card's good. Maybe it was funny. Last week's card, I mean, it wasn't great, but this one, I think it's being slept on a little bit personally. Anyways, minus 150 for Leron Murphy, plus 130 Josh Kulabau. Your pick.
Yeah, I mean, Leron Murphy's still undefeated, right? I think, listen, he was competitive with Gabriel Santos, but I think he got lucky in that fight. I think Gabriel Santos should have got to win there in March. Murphy, he's solid. The thing is, I think he cannot fight in the United States for some reason. He hasn't made this US debut yet. He was supposed to fight Lantware, and that fight didn't happen. Josh Kulabau, I'm completely turned around on Josh Kulabau. When he came to the UFC, I saw him fight first last time. Not really great. Got that draw against Jourdain, which I think Jourdain should have won. But then he put on a great streak, man. Three fight win streak, some good wins against Sung Ho Choi, Melsik, the finish in the second round last time in Australia. A really good win. Fuck, dude. I'm taking Josh Kulabau here. I think he wins, and I'm taking him via TKO in the third round. Ground and pound.
There we've had a few of those calls. I mean, this is another fucking tough. This card, I think it's 15 fights. I'm going to probably end up at I want to say at 50-0, but it's going to probably be 8-7 or something like that. It's just a lot of tricky fights. That's another one, right? Really, Marcel? Another tricky one. I don't blame you at all for taking Kulabau because Kulabau's been underrated, right? No one's really talking about him. He's flown way under the radar. I think he's looked pretty good in the UFC so far. I mean, really good, I should say, right? That fight, by the way, last year where it was a split decision against Choi, ridiculous. Yeah, Kulabau's looked good. That the back take on Melsik in the last fight was so impressive, the way he submitted him. And even against Jourdain in that fight, he did well in a fight that no one thought he'd do well, and he's looked great since then, right? So he's impressive. And then Murphy, I mean, you can say the same thing with him for the most part. Looked really good in the UFC. I do think he lost last fight against Santos, but I also think Santos is really good, even though he's 0-2 in the UFC. Yeah, this is a tough one, man. This one's fucking tough too. I don't know. I don't have a strong lean in it. I guess I would pick Murphy to win a close decision at home. That's my pick, a split decision, unanimous decision at home. But I don't have interest in betting this one, man. You might be right, Marcel. Couple comments. A lot of the Bellator fighters are in the UFC for late March. There's a Flan Secure employee trolling has been arguing with Bellator for months. That's when the rumors started coming out, right? Wasn't it a few months ago when you started hearing the rumors of the sale? So I don't know.
It's both is possible, what you're saying. So
absolutely, Sharps will be in the age difference of lower weight class below time. Grade 37, Marcus 30 undefeated. Absolutely. I can see why people are picking Marcus, but I'm just saying, I'll take a shot on Grant as a dog because I know he's a dog.
The thing is, Grant hasn't. The thing is, Grant hasn't looked like he's fading or anything. You know what I mean?
Looking good. He's looking good. He looked out. I know the last fight he didn't look the best, right? But he still won. He still found a way to win. It was impressive. That submission was incredible. Against Smolka looked amazing in that fight. It looked amazing against Louis Smolka. And again, see the expectation against Yanal. I just think he's good, man. We'll see what happens. Yeah, he is. That's the one I'm not worried about because the contenders. But why is Koreshkov listed, right? He's never fought in the UFC. Like someone posted Fedor. I think Fedor was on there already, right? From Strikeforce, wasn't he?
Possible, yeah, possible.
Okay, 40. We got Jai Herbert here taking on Ferris ZM here, guys. And odds for this one, ZM minus 145, plus 125, Jai Herbert. Are you taking Smile Killer or the Black Country Banger?
Last time when I saw Varasiam was actually the first time I was like, yeah, he looked good, and it was his fifth UFC fight. He got four UFC fights before, 2 wins, 2 losses. And actually, I think he shouldn't have won against Jamie Malarkey, that fight. And Luigi Vendramina fight should have been a draw, in my opinion. So, in my mind, he was 0-3-1. He got cut from the promotion. Then the UFC went to Paris, and they were like, "Oh, we need more French guys, so we take him back." And he looked good against Figlak. That was a legit win, good win for him. Figlak was undefeated at that time, I think. Now he's fighting Jai Herbert. Listen, man, Jai Herbert. He had a rough start in the UFC, right? He was Cage Warriors champion, came in the UFC, had that famous Dan Hardy moment with Herb Dean, where Herb Dean didn't stop the fight on time. He got knocked out by Francisco Trinaldo, then got stopped by Renato Moicano. But those are not bad losses, in my opinion, Then he got the win over Kamaworthy, knocked him out early. Took a fight with Topuria, and he knocked down Topuria, almost finished him in the first round, remember, in London last year. But Topuria came back and knocked him out. Finally got the win against Carl Nelson earlier, or also last year, and then he got the draw against Ludovic Klein, right? In a fight he would have won if he didn't get a point deducted. Man, I feel like Jai Herbert's gonna win here, man. I'm not gonna bank here on Faraziam's one good fight. I think Jai Herbert wins. I think he wins a decision, probably. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're expecting a good fight here, but I don't think this fight should be in the main card, personally. No, I don't understand why it's placed this high. I know Herbert, he's from England, I get it, but so is a bunch of other guys. Cian hasn't looked to me that amazing, but I overall, but like I was pretty impressed against the Figlak fight, man. I wasn't that was a guy that I was pretty high on, and he dominated him. So like maybe he's gonna look better now in the second stint because he got cut, but they re-signed him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this guy. Like, I'm not sure. Even but Herbert too. Like, he's kind of the tricky guy, right? Like, he looked better than I thought against Klein. Had the draw, but he's getting knocked out, submitted. I don't know. This is another tricky one, man. Look up. This card's fucking crazy. Either Marcel Gould's going to be like 500, or one of us is going to be like have a bad night. I'll just say that right now. Because I think we have another different pick here. I'm leaning towards ZM to win the decision. Just the age gap to me is the big thing here. He's almost 10 years. He's 9 years younger, right? So that's a big age gap. And I do think probably the better grappler too. So I have to pick him. I'll pick him to win a decision. But it's not my favorite fight in the card, and I don't think it should be on the main card. I'm a little confused why it's there. I think I have to hit Sadiq. I don't know. He's just doing those videos. Yeah, I don't know. Anything?
No idea.
All right, go to the next fight here, guys. We have an interesting fight here again. Another interesting one, Marcel. We got Paul Craig taking on Andre Muniz in the middleweight division. Paul Craig, guys, dropping down in weight. He's going to drop 20 pounds off that frame to make middleweight. Odds for this one, Andre Muniz, a big favorite here, minus 230. Paul Craig, plus 195. Your thoughts?
Paul Craig, going to middleweight. Paul Craig. What do we think about him? Two losses recently at light heavyweight. Tried to pull guard. Didn't look good at all. For that, got that win over Nikita Krylov. In the fight, he was actually doing bad, but Krylov fell for the trap, got into his guard, and got submitted. If you look at Andre Muniz, Andre Muniz didn't look bad in the first round against Brandon Allen. Then he gassed pretty bad, but Craig does as well normally. And he lost by a submission. I think the submission might cancel each other out here, the grappling. And if I look at the striking, I think Andre Muniz has better striking than Paul Craig. So, long story short, I'm taking Andre Muniz by either late TKO or a decision win.
I mean, I think we have a different pick here again. This is fucking crazy. Like I don't think we've had a card like this where we have so many different picks. I'm leaning towards Craig a little bit, especially at the odds. Like I think I have to take a shot in him too as a big dog. Him and Barberena, right? again, we don't know how he's going to look at 185. It's a guess. Both guys at 185, actually, both guesses. But I think he can win this fight. Like, to me, it was not impressive against Allen at all. And even against Uriah Hall, man, didn't look amazing. Like, I've been on this guy. Don't get me wrong. I've been betting on him. I bet on him, like, I think all of his fights. I did pick him to beat Allen and he lost. But I've been betting on him in his entire career in the UFC. And I've done well with this guy, right? But I think it's a fight that Paul Craig can win, man, potentially. He's going to be huge for middleweight if he can make it successfully. He's obviously got a really dangerous submission game. He's one of those guys, again, you can't count him out. And it could be a fight where I could easily see this be a fight, Marcel, where he gets dominated from top position for 2 rounds and comes back in the third and submits the guy. I could easily see that being the fight. In fact, that's how I feel like the fight's going to go. Muniz will take over early because the thing is, I just think these two guys, I think it's going to turn into a grappling match for sure. I don't think it's going to be a stamp fight like that Volkan fight. These are 2 grapplers. They want to go to the ground. They want to, I think, prove something against each other too. And I think they're going to be rolling on the ground. Muniz will be, doing well early with top position. Craig's going to be fending him off. But as the fight goes on, guys, I think Craig will be able to get that submission again. So that's what I think, Bar. So maybe second round, third round. Hopefully he doesn't gas if that happens. But I think he's going to do okay. And I think he'll win the fight. So another dog for me. Another dog.
Ooh.
Pardon?
Ooh.
Woo?
Who is going to win?
I'm taking Craig. Paul Craig.
No, I want to hear it. You got to say it right.
Paul Craig. Is that right?
Yeah, thank you. Paul Craig. Yeah.
By submission. He's got how many submissions in the UFC? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, the guy is an expert. Guys, don't sleep on Paul Craig. He didn't submit him, but he knocked out Jamal Hill with elbows from the guard. One of the nastiest submissions we've ever seen. Okay? Don't sleep on this dude. He also submitted Krylov in a fight where he was, losing and then comes back to win. I think it's a winnable fight. I think it's a winnable matchup. Muniz is not going to scare him. He doesn't have power. Those are the kind of guys that beat Paul Craig, the power guys.
Paul Craig.
The only submission guy he's ever beaten was Jimmy Crute, really. Otherwise, it's all power guys. And I think Muniz is not that guy. So I'll take Paul Craig by submission. Muniz triangle potentially. I mean, I think it's very possible, dude. It's very possible. I'm also thinking maybe just reverses position, get on top. You either get the rear naked or even grounded pound TKO from back mount. I mean, at the odds, I'm taking a shot on him, dude. I'm taking a shot on him and Barberena. Craig. I don't want to say it anymore. This guy likes Muniz. He's going to snap his bones. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Muniz is good. Like I said, Muniz is a solid fighter. All right. Couple fights left. These last couple, I actually kind of feel like are easier to pick. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what you say. But I think these are all kind of clear cut. These last couple. Well, the first bunch were fucking crazy to break down. This is one of our more crazy shows, right? Well, I'll count up how many decisions we have at the end. But let me go through the co-main or the featured fight here between Nathaniel Wood, the prospect, and Andre Touchy-Feely. Odds for this one: Nathaniel Wood minus 190, Feely plus 160. I'll just say right now, Marcel, I like Nathaniel Wood to win decision in this fight. I think he's looked great at featherweight. He's still, he's 30. He's not super young, but he's still younger than Feely. Feely's a guy, he's a good gatekeeper type. He's been around the UFC a long time, but I also feel like he's super inconsistent. Look at his record. He rarely strings wins together. And he's a guy that, last couple of years has not had a lot of success. Wood has made a good choice to move up in weight. He's looked great against Charles Rosa and against Charles Jourdain. That one was the one that really impressed me. Like, Rosa was he was a punching bag in that fight, right? But Jourdain is a good fighter. And I understand his takedown defense is not his strong suit, but still, Wood outstruck him too in that fight. So I think Wood's legit, man. He's 6-2 in the UFC. I've always liked this kid. I still remember he fought John Dodson and he got knocked out. I was shocked by that one. That's one of those ones that's like, wow. But maybe that cut to 135 was tough for him. 145, he's looked great. I pick him to win decision, Marcel. I think it's going to be a competitive fight, but he wins it. What do you think?
Yeah, man, Nathaniel, the long-lost brother of Joanne, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, the thing with Nathaniel Wood is, I told you last time, I'm not going to pick him until he changes his nickname. But I lied to you. I'm going to pick him here. I think he got all the potential. He looked really good against Charles Jourdain last time out. And I'm picking him here by decision. Feely is a fun fighter, but he's really inconsistent. And I feel that Wood is coming into himself. He looked really good as of lately. Still, change your nickname to Morning instead of the Prospect. But yeah, Nathaniel Wood, unanimous decision.
far as even if I'm lazy king, I have no idea. I don't know.
Same, absolutely.
Wood by decision seems likely. That's what I think. Filho has a chance to win decision. Yeah, I think Wood, especially at home, I think it gives him a big edge in this fight. I think he's going to land takedowns. He'd be in top control. Filho will do damage from bottom, but yeah, I mean, even on the feet, I think Wood will do well. Split decision potentially, but I think it'll be unanimous personally if I had to guess. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. We got.
By the way,
yeah.
Did you see the UFC signed that guy from CFFC, the bantamweight champion?
Who? What's his name?
Filson Andricchioni.
Okay, interesting signing, I guess.
He will debut in Paris, but I don't know against who.
Oh, I see you're saying for the Paris card. Yeah, and I would imagine like Benoit Saint-Denis will be on the card. I would imagine.
He's booked against Thiago Moises for Paris.
Oh, they rebooked it. Nice. Okay, great fight. Awesome fight. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, guys. We have Molly McCann taking on Yulia Stoliarenko, women's flyweight. This is another fight that. Here's the thing, like this girl she couldn't even make 140. She's the girl that fell off the scale the one time. Remember that?
135.
Yeah, 135. So, but she's been fighting 145 the last fight. I don't think she'll make 125. I think this is kind of crazy to me that someone who's fainted off a scale is going to attempt to cut even more weight. Stoliarenko's got a good armbar, and that's about it. Her record in the UFC is 1-5. She's not very good. Oh, sorry, they didn't say the odds. I don't even know if I did. It was minus 225 McCann, plus 190 Stoliarenko. So there is actually some money coming in on Stoliarenko. I just don't agree with it. Like, I get it. People think McCann's ground game defense or takedown defense is bad, and it is. It's not good. And Blanchfield exposed her there, and she'd been exposed to her like Laura Procopio beat her, right? That girl's not in the UFC anymore. Tyler Santos took her down like crazy, but she has some wrestling herself, and then the striking, she's way better striker. I think it's a showcase fight. Marcel, like think about it. They gave McCann was getting these layup fights, two back-to-back spinning back elbows, and then fights Blanchfield, who's fighting for the belt next, probably, right? So I just think this is the UFC giving her a winnable fight against someone who's 1-5 in the UFC. I'm not overthinking this one, man. I'm taking McCann by knockout. I think she knocks her out. What do you think?
I have a completely different look on this one, actually. I feel like, dude, I saw a picture of Stoliarenko, and she looked pretty good, actually. She looked much leaner than normally.
Yeah.
I think she has the strength advantage in this fight if she can make 125. I'll be surprised if she does, but I still think they let that fight happen even if she makes 130. Listen, man, it's very simple. Or Yulia stops her with an armbar in the first round, or Molly wins either by stoppage or by a decision win. Yeah. And I'm going with the dog here, man. I think Julia Stoliarenko can get the armbar. I think she's stronger than Molly if they make it to the cage. I think she can bully her on the ground, and she can get the armbar. That's what I think. So for me, Julia Stoliarenko, armbar submission round 1.
Oh, there we go. Well, I mean, that's how she wins, right? Like almost, I think all of her wins are by armbar. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, except for with the title fight in Invicta, but all the others are with armbar. Yeah.
You know what? That was a good fight too. That one in Invicta, that bloody war. That was a crazy fight. Yeah, that's the thing though. I think she's taking damage. She just got knocked out with Chandler. Not knocked out, but she got ground and pounded. Yeah, I mean, I could even see McCann doing that. We have a completely different view of this fight, which is fine, But yeah, we have a strong different view of this fight. Because we both like a finish, right? That's something we both like. This is one of the women's fight we don't think will go the distance. I just want to see what the props are. Fight does not go the distance. I don't
minus 150.
Yeah, I don't think it does. You don't think so either, right?
No,
I don't think it's going the distance, guys. All right, last fight here. We got Tom Aspinall taking on Marcin Tybura in the UFC heavyweight division. And Tom Aspinall coming back after a long way off, guys, where he obviously got injured in his last fight against Curtis Blades. Takes on Tybura here. Tybura won 7 of his last 8 fights. He's kind of a underrated guy in the division, but taking on the division's like best prospect, basically, if you want to count him as prospect Aspinall. Minus 500, Tom Aspinall, biggest favorite of the card, plus 370 Tybura. I'm not overthinking again. I'm taking Aspinall by knockout. I think he knocks Tybura out in the first round.
I'm taking Aspinall by submission in the first round. I think he knocks him down and he submits him. That's what I think. The thing is, like, that main event is absolutely not appealing to me because I think Aspinall wins this. Without. Listen, I understand they want to see him coming back after a year off with that injury, but they should have put a better main event here, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tybura gives some good opposition. You never know, but I feel like Aspinall gets it done early.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think so too. I don't want to overthink it. Maybe round 2. Some of you guys saying round 2, possibly. Dixon guy, I'm taking. I took Duncan, but Marcel took your boy Ashmouz in that fight. All right, that's it for the previews. I just want to run through it really quick. So we had here are the fights where we had the same pick. We both took Tom Aspinall. We both took Nathaniel Wood. I actually think that'd be a pretty good parlay, to be honest with you. Those two guys, you might get like even money close to it. That's a good parlay, I think. I like them both. We also both took Davey Grant as an underdog. Yeah. We both took Danny Roberts as an underdog, so there's 4. And we both took Jafel Filho. So we only had 5 same picks, which is pretty crazy. There he is. Marcel, we only had 5 picks the same, eh?
Yeah.
I can't see you, but it doesn't matter. The podcast is basically over. Don't worry about it. Just talk like this. It's like I'm talking to a ghost. It's awesome. Just stay there. Yeah. We had 10 dissensions on this card. It's never happened before. We usually have like pretty similar picks. There's usually like 2, 3, 4 different. This is 10 different. This is pretty nuts. This is unprecedented. So yeah, I hope it's not one of those cards where I go like 3 and 12. Like I hope it's not something like that, or like 2 and 13. Like it could happen. It could happen. I hope not. I'm gonna try to pick my spots. Even though I took some dogs, not all of them were like super convinced. But I'll take a shot at some of these dogs here. Marcel, any last thoughts on this card?
Yeah, man. I mean, earlier card for you guys, for me as well. Yeah, I'm listening. I don't think it's an amazing card, but I still think there are some fun fights on it. Looking forward to it anyways to watch it. Yeah, that's it pretty much. And and then next week we got the Salt Lake City card. Look forward to it.
For sure. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Marcel, before we get out of here?
Let me think. Not really. I mean, I'm kind of like with that Costa Alaskirov thing. One account said it on Twitter, and everybody's running with it. And I haven't seen like a legit insider or a source who posted it. So for me, it's still like just rumors.
Yeah. By the way, I agree with Glenn here. The prelims, it's going to start. They're going to have the first fighters in the cage, and they're going to hope for finishes. Right? It's too many though. Maybe they'll start half an hour earlier. Anyways,
actually, they should be punished by all decisions. Actually,
they should be.
Yeah, they should get punished.
Yeah.
Put it on earlier.
Yeah. Anyways, it should be a good card. But yeah, you're good. Anything else? Anything burning you want to talk about really fast before we get out here? Or are you good?
I'm good, man.
All right, let's end it, man.
Question if you want. I don't know, man. Maybe you have
I don't know. I'm just 2.5 hours. I'm good. I don't want to talk anymore. All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. Me and Marcel had a good time. But yeah, I'm talked out, Marcel. I'm glad. Just wanted to make sure you didn't have any, anything grinding your gears there. Follow him, Marcel, on Twitter, Instagram, Big Marcel24. Adam Martin here. Like, share, subscribe, do all things with the podcast. Love you guys in the chat. It's awesome, man. It's always like a good time here. It's going to be an interesting card. I think it's going to be a fun card. I like this card, and I think there's going to be a lot of upsets. So we'll see what happens. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. We'll be back next week. We're not sure if we'll be what time we're going to do it Monday. I think it's Marcel's birthday. We might do it later.
Probably later.
Yeah, or potentially maybe the next day. But we'll let you guys know. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. Talk to you there. Bye.